Amelia climbed the creaking stairs. Dust swirled in the stale air, thick with the scent of decay. The attic loomed, a shadowy beast in the fading light. She hesitantly stepped inside, her heart heavy with grief. Cobwebs clung to her face, a physical manifestation of her sorrow. It had been a year since Richard's passing, yet the pain remained, sharp, unrelenting. She pushed forward, deeper into the attic's dusty embrace.
Amelia ran her fingers over forgotten relics. A chipped porcelain doll, a moth-eaten tapestry. Each object whispered of happier times, a cruel reminder of what she had lost. The silence of the attic pressed in, suffocating her with its emptiness.
A glint of gold caught her eye. Half hidden beneath a frayed velvet cloth lay a small leather-bound book. It was ornately crafted, its cover etched with strange symbols that seemed to writhe in the dim light. Amelia brushed away the dust, her fingers tracing the intricate designs. The book was cold to the touch, as if imbued with an unnatural chill. A shiver ran down her spine, a prickle of unease. She cautiously opened the cover. The pages were thick, yellowed parchment, the text penned in a language she had never encountered before.
The air grew heavy, the silence replaced by a low hum that seemed to emanate from the book itself. A strange sense of anticipation washed over Amelia, a mix of fear and curiosity that she couldn't ignore. She knew instinctively that this was no ordinary book. As days turned into nights, Amelia found herself drawn back to the attic, to the strange book that had awakened a flicker of hope within her. The attic, once a place of forgotten memories, now seemed to pulse with a life of its own, beckoning her with an irresistible allure. The book, she learned, was called the Whispering Tome. Its cover, worn and mysterious, hinted at the secrets it held within. Its pages, filled with arcane rituals and forbidden knowledge, promised the power to transcend life and death. Each symbol and incantation seemed to whisper directly to her soul, offering glimpses of a world beyond the mortal coil.
The whispers started subtly, like a gentle breeze rustling through the leaves. Faint murmurings at the edge of her hearing, promising the return of her beloved Richard. They spoke of love lost and the possibility of rekindling what was once thought gone forever. They wormed their way into her dreams, filling her with a desperate longing. Night after night her sleep was haunted by visions of Richard, his voice calling out to her from the shadows. The book, she believed, held the key to ending her pain, to reuniting her with her lost love. It became her beacon of hope, a lifeline in the storm of her grief.
Amelia delved deeper into the tome's secrets, her obsession growing with each passing moment. Each revelation pulled her further into its depths, making it harder to distinguish between reality and the book's promises. She barely ate or slept, her entire being consumed by the book and its promises. Her once vibrant spirit now seemed tethered to the ancient pages, her life force ebbing away. The line between reality and delusion blurred, her grief a potent elixir that fueled her descent. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, as if the book itself was alive, feeding off her sorrow and desperation. The Whispering Tome's script, initially indecipherable, began to unravel in Amelia's mind. It was as if the book itself was teaching her, guiding her towards understanding. The language was guttural, ancient, each symbol a gateway to a realm beyond human comprehension. The rituals described within its pages were complex, demanding a terrible price.
Ingredients spoken of in hushed tones: nightshade, graveyard earth, the blood of the innocent.
A knot of fear tightened in Amelia's stomach, yet it was outweighed by her desperation. She would bring Richard back, no matter the cost. Her love for him eclipsed all else, her grief twisting into a dark and powerful obsession. The whispers grew stronger, urging her on. Section 5, a sacrifice demanded. The tome demanded a blood sacrifice, a ritual as old as time itself. A life for a life, the ultimate price to pay for forbidden knowledge.
I can't do this, it's too much to ask. How can I even think of such a thing? The very thought is unbearable.
Amelia recoiled from the thought, her mind a battlefield of conflicting emotions, her dwindling humanity clinging to the edges of her despair. She felt trapped. But the whispers were relentless, echoing her deepest desires, fueling her obsession with every passing moment.
Amelia, my love, it's the only way. You must do this for us. You know what you must do. There is no other path.
Days turned into weeks, each one more torturous than the last. Amelia wrestling with her conscience, torn between love and morality. The face of her beloved Richard haunted her waking moments, a constant reminder of her loss, his voice a constant echo in her dreams, urging her towards the unthinkable.
Richard, I can almost feel you. Your presence is so near yet so distant, so close yet so far. How can I bridge this gap?
She could almost feel his presence, just beyond her grasp, a spectral touch that eluded her. The line between right and wrong blurred, her moral compass spinning wildly, the boundary between sanity and madness fading with each passing hour, her resolve weakening.
What choice do I have left? I need you, Richard. I need you back. I can't go on without you.
One name, whispered on the wind, repeated endlessly in the depths of her mind, broke through her torment, offering a dark solution. A homeless man, forgotten and alone, a necessary sacrifice, a life to be traded for another.
A necessary sacrifice. For you, Richard. I will do what must be done. I barely recognized the woman staring back at me from the mirror. Her eyes, once a window to a soul filled with warmth and kindness, now reflected a haunting intensity that sent shivers down my spine. My eyes, once filled with warmth, now burned with an unsettling intensity. They were bloodshot, as if I hadn't slept in days, and the dark circles beneath them told a story of sleepless nights and endless torment. My skin was pale, stretched taut over my bones, my touch as cold as the book that had consumed me. The once healthy glow had vanished, replaced by a ghostly pallor that made me look like a living corpse. I could feel the tome's influence like a living presence within me, guiding my thoughts, controlling my actions. It was as if the book had a mind of its own, whispering dark secrets and forbidden knowledge into my ear. Its whispers were a symphony of madness in my mind, drowning out the last vestiges of my former self. The ritual was close, the homeless man. The voices grew louder, more insistent, urging me to complete the ritual and embrace the darkness fully. A life for a life. The balance had to be maintained and the tome demanded a sacrifice. The thought of taking a life had once been abhorrent to me, but now it seemed like a necessary evil. A small price to pay for everlasting love. The promise of eternal love and power was too tempting to resist, and I found myself willing to do whatever it took to achieve it. The thought, once repulsive, now resonated with a chilling logic that I couldn't deny. The more I listened to the tome, the more it made sense, and the more I felt myself slipping away. The shadows in the corner of my vision danced with anticipation. They seemed to be alive, moving and shifting as if they were waiting for something or someone.
Amelia stood before the mirror, a reflection of her transformation both inside and out. The woman she once was had been replaced by a vessel of dark intent, driven by the whispers of the tome. The once vibrant woman was now a vessel of dark intent, driven by the whispers of the tome. Her eyes, once filled with life, now held a haunted look, a testament to the darkness that had taken hold of her soul. The air crackled with energy as Amelia began the ritual. Candles flickered, casting grotesque shadows that danced on the attic walls. The symbols she had painstakingly copied from the tome glowed with an eerie luminescence. The sacrifice, bound and gagged, whimpered in terror. His fear, palpable in the air, did little to quell the fervour that burned within Amelia. She recited the incantations, the words tasting of ash and despair on her tongue. The room grew colder, the air thick with the stench of decay. A low hum resonated from the book, growing in intensity until it filled the room. The symbols on the tome's cover blazed, bathing the attic in an unholy light. Amelia felt a surge of power, dark and intoxicating, coursing through her veins. The attic swirled, transforming into a vortex of colours and sounds. The scent of blood filled the air, metallic and sweet. Amelia watched in awe as a figure began to coalesce from the swirling chaos. Tall, with eyes that burned like embers, it was Richard, but something was wrong.
Richard?
His features, though familiar, were twisted into a grotesque mockery of the man she loved. His touch sent shards of ice through her veins, his voice a rasping whisper that chilled her to the bone.
Amelia.
He was a being of immense power, fueled by the darkness she had unleashed. This was not the Richard she knew, but a corrupted reflection, a creature born of her desperate obsession and fueled by the sacrifice she had made. The creature that was once Richard turned its burning gaze upon Amelia. A terrifying smile spread across its face, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. It lunged, its touch icy cold, as it wrapped its skeletal fingers around her throat. Amelia gasped for air, her eyes wide with terror and regret. The whispers that had once promised her hope now taunted her, echoing her folly. She had been a pawn in a game she didn't understand, her love and grief twisted into a weapon against her.
Foolish girl.
As darkness consumed her, Amelia realized the terrible truth. The Whispering Tome offered no reunion, no solace, only oblivion. The last thing she saw before the abyss swallowed her whole was the creature's triumphant grin, a horrifying testament to the price of forbidden knowledge.